Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for another brilliant episode of our Shark Cards bullshit. In this episode, the Take-Two CEO has said that he wants more microtransactions within future games. So let's get into this. With all jokes aside, the CEO of Take-Two, Scooch McFuckface, said that he wanted to have more recurrent consumer spending opportunities in future titles, or better said, in every game going forward. He said the business once upon a time was a big chunky opportunity to engage in tens of hours or perhaps hundreds of hours. This has turned into ongoing engagement. Day after day, week after week, you fall in love with these titles and they become part of your daily life. We said that we aim to have recurrent customer spending opportunities for every title that we put out at this company. It may not always be an online model, it probably won't always be a virtual currency model, but there will be some ability to engage in an ongoing basis with our titles after release across the board. And then he points out that they've made like 42% revenue off these microtransactions and goes on about, one of the things we've learned is if we can create a robust opportunity and a robust world in which people can play delightfully in a bigger and bigger way, they will keep coming back, they will engage, and there's an opportunity to monetize that engagement. There's a lot of room for growth. This is just the beginning. Well, there you have it. Microtransactions confirmed for Red Dead Redemption 2, boys. Enjoy! There's obviously a lot of discussion going on about this. Microtransactions are there, they're not gonna go away, and you kinda have to deal with them, I suppose. They make those companies way too much money, and if you want to have an example of that, let me show you the following graph of Ubisoft's fiscal year 2016, 2017 and 2018. If you're not colorblind and you know how to read, you can see that they've made more money off microtransactions than they've made off selling digital games. Yes, it's a thing. Now, microtransactions in Ubisoft titles is definitely not going away because they are making serious bank with it. That number right there in the yellow says $175 million. Yeah. And that increase for a year-on-year basis is 83% compared to 2017, the fiscal year that is. So, yeah, microtransactions make a lot of money. And the main thing about those microtransactions is because they are micro. They are tiny little purchases, and because they're so little, a lot of people can actually afford to purchase them. And a very good example of this is, of course, the Call of Duty supply drops. I want to take that as an example here because, well, it's one of the more major things. Obviously, there's also Overwatch and CSGO, but I don't personally play them. I don't have experience with them, but they're kind of the same thing. Essentially, how that works, for those who don't know, you can buy Call of Duty points, and with those COD points, you can spend 200 COD points and you can open one supply drop. You can go all the way to 13,000 COD points for only a small price of $100, and with that, you can open 65 supply drops. Now, this, in my opinion, is the worst form of microtransactions. The reason for that is that you have a chance of getting the item you want. You open a supply drop, and what you get out of that is a variety of items. You can get a common, a rare, a legendary, or an epic, and there you go. It's most of the time it's customization, but obviously within Modern Warfare Remastered, which I am using as an example, there's also actual guns. Now, personally, my personal preference will obviously go out to actually being able to purchase these weapons for like $2.50 or $5 or whatever, and then you can just use the game and it will just be fine, you know. But they choose, of course, to go for the more profitable way, which is putting them into supply drops with like less than a % chance of getting them, and then people are just gonna keep buying Call of Duty points and they make like billions and billions of dollars off that stuff. Whereas with GTA Online, to obviously take that as an example, if you would spend $100 as well, you get $8 million in game, and you can spend that on whatever you want. Now, the argument, of course, is that that $8 million is not worth as much as it used to, which obviously is a bit of an issue. Now, of course, they also do bonus cash from time to time on it. There was a period of time where they really did a lot of it. Nowadays it's not as much, I think, which is a bit of a shame. I just feel like because that decrease of value has happened, I think that you should kind of have like a permanent bonus on those things for a long time, or at least cut the price of them, because I think a lot of people would be much more interested in buying shark cards and all that stuff if it was a lot more fair. For $8 million these days, you don't really buy as much as you used to. Back in the day, you were able to buy like 16 supercars or some sports cars and whatnot for that $8 million. Nowadays, the X80 Proto is 2.7 million, and then you don't even have the thing upgraded. The Chula, for example, 5.5 million. You get the picture. $8 million these days in GTA Online and at $100 is not really going to buy you a lot of stuff anymore, which hopefully going forward with Red Dead Redemption 2, they're gonna keep an eye on that, or they're probably gonna make it worse, depending on how you look at it. Now, the argument is of course always two sides. You know, you got microtransaction in a game like GTA Online and obviously Red Dead Redemption 2 as well. But you can work for it. You can play the game, and if you're someone that plays the game a lot, then you know you obviously don't even have to buy these shark cards. There's always plenty of opportunities to, you know, get money. There's always double cash in something every week. Some weeks are better than others, but if you find a good week where you can make some good money, for example, when there's double cash in stunt races, you play that, you can make a couple of million very easily, and it can be enjoyable as well. Now, if you're a bit of a more casual player, you're someone that doesn't really have a lot of time, you're a dirty worker who has a very busy job, you know, family, kids. I'm just taking him as an example because he used to or is still buying a lot of shark cards. He just likes to jump on the game, play some free aim, free roam, and just shoot some stuff and basically buy shark cards every from now and then to purchase some more ammo and some money so he can destroy some more vehicles with his sticky bombs. That, in my opinion, is more the goal of microtransactions for those casual players. Not that Dirty is really a casual player, he's more like a tryhard, but for those people who have limited amount of time and don't really have time to grind out the game. That's where microtransactions come in a quote-unquote good way. Loot boxes, nah, that's pure greed. Some people might even argue that it's gambling. That's a discussion for no other time. I personally feel like it is and it isn't, but let's not get into that. And there's also like a lot of other ways. Like you obviously also have the opportunity in some games to purchase, like, you know, some XP things, or even maybe even money in game in single players, which is something that kind of goes too far. You know, single player microtransactions is kind of silly to me. I really wish you could just unlock stuff. I remember like in an Assassin's Creed game, you were able to purchase like in-game currency with money in a single player game. I was like, what the hell is this? I was like, where the hell is this going? You know, it's like, what? It's supposed to be a single player game, you know, you're supposed to unlock stuff, not just, you know, purchase them. It doesn't really make much sense to me why they would do such a thing in single player, but I guess it makes them money, so that's why it's there. So I personally feel like that if you were to go for a microtransaction model, either the model of GTA Online, but then more improved and more fair when it comes to value of what you get for your cash, or being able to like buy clothing or whatever for like $1 or $2 a piece. It's, in my opinion, a lot better, and if they go into the loot box territory, I think they're gonna have a lot of pissed off fans, but I don't really think they're gonna do that. I think that the way they've been doing it now is, yes, it's not the best thing of all time, but I think it's the best of the worst. Anyway, as always, let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. This should be an interesting comment section on a video like this, because there's a lot of people who are very much against shark cards. It's a double-edged sword to me, like I told you before. So, thank you all so very much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more, and I'll see you all later.